today. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and I am your interest cancellation expert. And that's where ICE comes from. You can call me ICE or you can call me interest cancellation expert, but that's what it's all about, folks. It's about interest cancellation. What does that really mean? And we're going to get into it today. What do people really want? What do people really want when it comes to their debt? All right. I need you guys to really think about that. What do people really want when it comes to debt? Because when people really don't understand the problem or they misidentify the problem, guess what? They come up with faulty solutions because they've misidentified the problem. That's what it is in life. So people who make it their business to rent you money, to put money out so that you can pay interest, they're counting on the fact that you misidentify the problem, and therefore you will come up with solutions that are faulty. So if you want to get rid of debt fast, then that helps the people who are lending you money, because now you're focused in the wrong area. If you want to get rid of debt by getting the lowest interest rate possible, again, you're helping those who are renting you or lending you the money. If you think the idea of getting out of debt means I need to make more money so that I can pay that debt off faster, again, you've misidentified the problem, and therefore the people who lend you money make more money. Man, oh man. So what is it that we really, really want when it comes to debt? So let me tell you something. Before we get into that, the Bible says that the borrower is slave to the lender. Well, do you know what the worst kind of slavery is? The worst kind of slavery is the illusion of freedom, thinking you're free, but you're still a slave. Think about that. Do you know that companies make it so that you believe you have a choice in something when really you don't have a choice? Do you know when it comes to, what made Warby Parker so powerful in this industry and making frames and making glass frames? Frames for your glasses, like the ones I have on now, is because there were a lot of brand names. There are a lot of brand names for frames, but they were all owned by the same parent company. The worst kind of choice is the illusion of choice, but you're still choosing me. Oh, my goodness. Giuseppe is in the room. Good morning, Giuseppe. How are you doing, sir?
Can I tell you why I'm in the room?
Go ahead. Tell me why you're in the room, man.
I'm Italian, Don, and people, they don't know how lucky they are because I'm in real estate since 1991. business around the world, 1,000 employees, but only USA. You need to learn the financial system because the financial system, it's magic. And it's important for me understanding how can use money, how can use leverage. And you are the only person that can teach us how can take off your mortgage in 7 years. For this, I'm happy to be here because I need to increase my knowledge. Giuseppe, back to you, Don.
Thank you very much, Giuseppe, Credit Goddess. We're here today talking about what identifying a real problem. When you don't identify the problem correctly, you're going to come up with solutions that are faulty. And we're just running down some stuff right now, waiting for you to get here. How are you doing this morning, Credit Goddess?
I'm doing great. Happy Friday. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Tell us who you are and why you're here.
Awesome. Hey, Don. Hey, Giuseppe, and everyone in the audience. My name is Rosalore Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I am all things credit score improvement strategist. Not only do I help you repair, but with education and guidance, I help you build, which is the most important thing, building the credibility on your name. Your name is credit, right? Then it unlocks the opportunity for you to establish business credit, leveraging your credibility and also gaining access to funding, because I'm also a NAV business loan broker. So I help my clients get access to the money. So many different funding options out there. It's not just the major banks, but when the major banks say no, my lenders say yes, depending on what you have as far as the 5 C's of credit: your character, collateral, capital, capacity, and cash flow. So if you have any of those things, I can get you funding that you need to grow and scale your business. Also a business credit coach. So I'm all the things when I say all things credit. So definitely tap in with me. The number is in my bio. Let's get you started, especially during this time, during the recession. This is when millionaires are made. So you don't want to be left with no bargaining chips to bargain with to play this game of Monopoly. So definitely tap in with me. Thanks, Don.
You are so welcome, Credit Goddess. Thank you for being here. So let me get back to what I was saying, folks. And listen, if you have anything to input into this, people who are in the audience here on Clubhouse, raise your hand, come to the stage, put in your 2 cents. We want to hear from you. So we're talking about the worst kind of slavery. The worst kind of slavery is the illusion of freedom. All right? The illusion of freedom. Because you think you're free and you're doing exactly what you believe you need to be doing, but you are enslaved to someone. And we're talking about being enslaved to debt when, in fact, you think you're free. You could be making a lot of money. You could even have a black card. You could be in a position where you have an 800 or 850 credit score and be able to get anything you want on credit and believe that you are free when in fact 30 but for most families 35 to 39% of your take-home pay is used to pay interest alone. 35 to 39% of your take-home pay is used to pay interest alone. Even though you make plenty of money, you got plenty of money in the bank, you can go anywhere you want, you can do anywhere you want, go anywhere you want, you can drive anything you want, you can live anywhere you want, vacation anywhere you want, but someone is still benefiting from you borrowing money because of how you perceive borrowing money. And we also talked about, Credit Goddess, of the illusion of choice. We're just getting to the point where, the most people who buy their frames for their glasses, they did not know that there are many brand names out there to buy glasses, but they are all owned by one parent company. So that's why the frames were so doggone expensive. Not because listen, folks, it's plastic. Most of the glasses frames are plastic, and they cost $200, $300, $400 for plastic. That's why Warby Parker came along and said, listen, the reason why they're so expensive is because of the illusion of choice. You think you have a choice, but all of these companies are owned by the same parent company. So let's get down to financial literacy. Financial literacy is really financial ignorance. The things I don't know about finances, financial ignorance masquerading as financial literacy. That is what's going on here, folks. And this is why we exist here at the P.I.L.L Method, to make sure that you know the difference between financial literacy and financial ignorance masquerading as financial literacy, because we come up with all sorts of ideas. We have all sorts of ways to handle and to think about debt. But we don't really understand what's going on behind the scenes. Because if we did know, then 9 out of 10 people you know would not be in a position where they will never pay off all of their debt, especially their mortgage. 9 out of 10 people you know. Why is that 90% of us fail to do what we intended to do in the first place? Is because we misunderstand the problem. When you don't understand the problem, then you don't understand the right solution. And folks, I don't care. Listen, start thinking about everything that you know about debt. Everything. What we want to do today is talk about understanding what true deception is, when in fact, we believe it's enlightenment. You are most deceived. You are worst deceived. You are ultimately and utterly deceived when you believe that you are actually being enlightened. Oh my goodness. Enlightenment masquerading. A deception masquerading as enlightenment. Those people who are selling us an idea about how we handle debt have sold us a bill of goods. So let me tell you what's going on here. Let's get to the facts. If I were to ask you, when it comes to debt, what do most people want? Please come to the stage, put it in the chat. Listen, D. Alexander says false light. All right. Keita says, do we have to pay it off? Okay. All right. She says, do we have to pay it off? That is an idea. That may not be it. So Portia says, no debt, be out of debt. So that's what she wants. So when it comes to debt, what do you feel about debt? What is it that you really, really want? No debt. All right. Now, and Portia, how do you believe, based on what you know to be true, what is the best way to get out of debt? Come on, folks. So she says, I want to be out of debt. That's what she thinks about it. Let's hear what you have to say. And how do you want to achieve what it is that you want? Come on, let's talk about it. How do we deal with that? All right. So how do we deal with our debt? What is it that you want when it comes to your debt? What is it that you want? Be out of debt? I want to get out of debt. How do you want to get out of debt? What is the best way to do that? What is the best way to get out of debt? Anybody?
I say make more money.
All right.
Bring more money to the table so we can strategize.
Credit Goddess says more money. You need more money. And listen, Credit Goddess, thank you for bringing these folks up to the stage, because I'm in the back channel. I don't see everything, but I got D and I got K. Let's go with K. Kita, tell us, what is it that you're looking for?
I'm looking to get rid of my debt as well. I did watch a video some time ago. I'm not sure if it worked or not, but it's not on my credit about some type of litigation or whatever. But I did fill that out and they wiped it off my credit. But I do want to like get credit cards to, you know, buy assets instead of like liabilities, something that I mainly have. So that's something I'm working on in order to get out of debt.
All right, all right, all right. So let's get down to it, folks. Let's get down to it. How do you view debt? How should we handle it? How do we get out of it? D, what do you have to tell us this morning? D. Alexander, if you're there, go ahead and unmute and talk to us. Hit that microphone in the lower right-hand corner, sir, and you can unmute. There you go.
All right, there we go.
Come on, talk to us.
Yeah, I'm well with my debt. I'm looking to leverage it. I'm looking to work it for. I'm looking to work it for for my best interest of mine. Sort of what Kay's saying, but I don't see that. What I'm learning new is whatever. All debt is not bad, and debt is nothing to be afraid of. So I'm just looking at the ways to master it and leverage it for my for assets and income also. To build on top of what I'm already doing. So
all right.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of debt.
Okay.
Basically.
So when you're talking about leveraging, give me an idea of what that really means. Leveraging debt to do investments. What does that mean? Talk to me how you would use debt in give me a scenario. Talk to me.
I don't know too much, but just like you said, build investments, build my credit, build my name up to look good, and along that lines of things.
Okay.
I'm still new to it, but that's what I'm interested in. I know people are doing it, and I just want to do what other people are doing.
You want to do what other people are doing. So
yes.
It's understanding. You want to understand it from the right perspective. All right. It is those who lend money. It is their job to make sure you misunderstand how this whole process works, even though you're still making money. What? They don't want you to be in a position where you don't make money because you need to pay them back, right? But they still need for you to misunderstand it. For what reason? They want you to make money, but they still want you to misunderstand what they're doing. Why do you think that is?
So we can
change to the system.
So what, sir?
Oh, go ahead, young lady. Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, I was just saying to stay in debt, so they, won't want us to come out of debt, basically.
Oh, so they definitely want you to pay it back, but they just don't want you to pay it back too fast. Is that what I'm hearing, Kay?
Well, I don't really understand it either. I was just saying it as an idea. I don't know.
Well, listen, I like what you're saying here. So if you were a lender, if you were lending people money, so let's put ourselves in the place of a lender. What would you want if you were lending out money? What is the best business scenario for you if you were lending out money? DK, come on, talk to me.
To get it back on time when the borrower says they're going to pay me back.
Okay, to get it back on time. All right. So when the borrower says, under the contract, you want them to take the full time to pay it back, but you want them to pay it back on time, correct?
Well, not the full time, but because I know I pay like half of my credit card.
Yep.
And then I'll pay the full balance at the end of the month.
Well, see, that's what you want. If you were lending the money, what would you want, Kay? If you were lending the money, what would you want?
I know what I would want.
Faster?
Okay. Go ahead, D. What would you want?
If I was the lender, I would want the person on the other side to pay late and be late all the time, so I can make more money. And I would juice them. I want to get 400 return on what's supposed to come. You know, I wanted to be ignorant. If I was a lender, I'm gonna suck you dry.
So D, if you were the lender, you would want to listen, we got this contract, but I want to make even more money than that. Is that what I'm hearing, D?
Correct.
Kay, does that make sense to you? If you were in the business of making money, would you want to make the least amount of money you could, or the most amount of money you could, if you were in business of lending money?
The most. I get what D said now. That makes perfect sense.
Ah, okay. So listen, when you ask the question, folks, what do you want when it comes to borrowing money? What do you want when it comes to your debt? Do you know most people don't know what they really want? They'll try to describe it. So I need you to help me to prove this point. So if we've identified the right thing here from the banking point of view, here's what the banks want. Okay. Then what do we do to help ourselves? How should we view our debt from the consumer side, from the borrower side? What is it that we want when it comes to our debt? Now that we understand what the banking side wants. Come on, folks. Come on, you two. Talk to me this morning. What do we want now? Now that you've identified a particular problem, what is the best way to solve this problem? Okay, what do you think?
I honestly, I don't want to fall into a bracket so I can get into bankruptcy and stuff like that.
Okay.
Settlement stuff.
All right. So you don't want to get into bankruptcy, so you want to be able to pay off the debt.
Right.
Okay. Can you give me an idea of what that looks like? Paying off the debt.
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry about that.
Okay, that's all right. What does that look like? You said I want to pay off the debt. I want to avoid bankruptcy. Tell me what that looks like. Tell me what paying off the debt looks like to you.
What I had mentioned a little earlier, just paying it off in the right time. The way how I learned off YouTube is, paying half and then paying the rest on the 30th day.
Okay.
I can be ignorant, so I don't know.
No. Listen, this is not right or wrong. I'm trying to make a point as how we are taught about debt, and you are right on target. But if I were to reframe what you said, you pay off half here and the other half in about 30 days. So it is important to you to pay it off fast.
Yeah.
Okay. And any other ideas about that, Kay, before I move on?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I know I need a lot of assistance.
All right. So you want to pay it off fast. So D, how do you view debt? How do you think most people view debt? How do you view it, and how do you think most people view it?
I view it as,
yeah.
If I'm looking from the lender's perspective, I'm trying to do the exact opposite of what they're trying to do with my money, with my situation. I'm trying to pay off the least amount of debt I can possible.
You're trying
that house or whatever. I'm trying to do the reverse of what they doing to me.
You're trying to do.
That's how I see it.
You're trying to do the reverse. So what are they trying to do to you?
Yep.
What are they trying to do to you?
I feel like they're trying to take my money.
Okay, they're trying to take your money.
They deserve. They're taking my hard-earned money.
Okay, they're taking your hard-earned money. How are they? You borrowed money, so you have their money. So how are they taking your money? Tell me how they're taking your money.
I just feel like it's unfair in the rates and in the position that you're in when you're borrowing the money, and the position how they represent it to you. They make it feel like this is your only. There's no options. Just like what you're talking about earlier, they give you some people give you illusion of choices, and really there is no choice. It still lands in the same spot when they first started, and they think you're dumb or whatever when you're doing it,
Okay.
And you get sick of that game.
All right. Oh, so here's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that you're saying that they lend us the money, we pay back the money, but they're trying to suck us dry. They're trying to make more money. What is the more money they're making? Because I'm paying them back what I borrowed. Tell me what the more money is. What is that? What do we call that?
Interest?
Come on, Kay. So if they can make interest on the borrowed money, so do they want to make the most amount of interest or the least amount? Both of you.
That's something I don't know. I don't understand interest rates.
Ah.
I wouldn't be able to tell you that.
Okay, Kay, here's what I listen, you hit on something here. All of us know what a credit card is, right?
Yes.
A car loan,
Right.
a mortgage.
I do.
Okay. And how about student loans? Do we know what those are?
We do, but
Okay.
I don't have those.
All right. So so we know what these are, and we it's part and parcel of our financial fabric, the things that we need to do in life. These are tools that we can use. All right. But you just said we don't understand how they work. Why is that?
Because it wasn't taught. I know I wasn't.
Okay. So you weren't taught that. You weren't taught that. And you've never had a class on it, right?
Never.
What? So do you know that the interest-bearing loan is the most well-known and the most used banking tool on the planet? And you don't know how it works. The people you went to school with don't know how it works. How is that? If we're supposed to be out here using something that everybody uses, how did they get to the point where we don't understand how it works? And not only that, it's not taught how it works. Isn't that a mess? D, what do you think?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the conversation. I was going through the hills.
That's okay, man. The conversation was Kay came up with something brilliant here. She was saying that we're supposed to use credit, but we were never taught how it all works. How the bank makes its money. What do you think about that? Were you ever taught?
No, that's correct.
Okay. So let me tell you something here, folks. Your real estate agent was not taught how debt works. The mortgage professionals are not taught how a mortgage actually works. Financial planners are not taught how debt actually works and how banks make their money. CPAs are not taught how it works. If you went to the Wharton School of Business, do you know that borrowing money is something that we're all taught to increase business, but we're not taught how it all works, how the bank actually makes its money? If you have a PhD in business, you're not taught how borrowing money actually works. How in the world did we get here? D. How do we get here? K. When the whole world is expected to use these tools, but we're not taught how to use them.
That's the illusion.
That's the illusion. And do you know, when I ask people that question, they believe they understand how it works until we ask the question, explain how it works. That's the illusion. You believe you know until you're asked the question, how do you know? And then we realize we don't know. Isn't that something, folks? Credit Goddess, Giuseppe, do you have any input into that? Anybody else in the audience have any idea of what we're talking about today? When we are taught, we are supposedly taught financial literacy. There's financial literacy information out there. There's financial literacy in books. There's financial literacy that did you know that you can call your local bank and they have information all printed up that they will give you for free that you can use in high schools? It's already there. Let me ask you, can we trust the financial literacy, those courses that banks provide schools? Can we trust that? What do you think?
Not to my knowledge.
Why wouldn't you trust the information that came from the bank?
Because it doesn't seem to be working for me and my family and my friends. So I really can't trust that information. I'm just going off results. I'm looking at the fruit that's coming from the system already. I don't see a lot of fruit coming through right now. So no, I don't trust it.
All right, folks. See, listen, I want to thank D. I want to thank Kay for just being regular people who, and they're just like all of us, who are expected to know and to use these tools, that we have been deceived, but we think we've been enlightened by reading books on financial literacy, by sitting down in other seminars that have to do with debt, sitting under the feet of the likes of the Susie Ormans or the Dave Ramseys of the world, and we take that as gospel, as this is the way to handle it. And when we have all of that information out there, the bottom line is 9 out of 10 of us, 90% of us, over 90% of us will never, ever totally understand it and be out of debt because we don't know what we want. Can I tell you, I'm going to share something with you that most people don't know when it comes to their debt. If you ask them what do they want with their debt, they'll talk around it, but they won't hit the nail right on the head because banking doesn't want you to know what I'm getting ready to say. If you really want to know what the problem is and how to handle it, I need you to put some number 9s in the chat right now because I need to know how many people are actually listening and want to know the answer to this question. Put a number 9 in the chat right now. All right. I see Steve Mack. I see D. I see Keita. She says 9, and some 8s as well. Come on, she said, I want to know. Here is okay, Terry. Oh, listen, they're still coming in. Terry says 9. Makita says 9. And come on, Keita. Don't be laughing at me, Keita. Don't be laughing at me. Yogstra says 9. Mr. P, what's up? Listen, if you ask most people what they want when it comes to their debt, they don't know. But when they hear it and when they experience it, they are glad they know now and they experience it. Here's the key. When it comes to your debt, you don't want to get rid of it fast. You want to get rid of it cheap. To get out of debt, you don't need more money. We've identified that the bank wants to make more money off of us through the form of interest. So the more interest you pay, the longer you stay in debt. So if we identify the true problem is not our debt. The true problem is the cost that lenders place on the debt. And everything we're taught everything that you already know. All right, Paul Davey says 9, watching us online. Thank you, sir. He's watching us on YouTube right now. What the banks want is for you to look at all these other things, but not truly understand that it is the cost of the debt that's the problem, and that's what we need to eliminate the cost. Every solution right now that is being taught to you that we call best practices overlooks the very thing that we need to do. That is keep the cost low. Everything that you've ever learned, everything. I see Doug Jackson is here. Okay, Doug Jackson is with us this morning. He's watching us on Facebook. All right. So, folks, here's what I'm saying. Everything that you've ever learned about debt comes down to one thing. Are you handling your cost on your debt? What is your interest consumption? How much interest are you consuming every single month on your debt? My goodness. So if there's a way for us to pay less interest, come on, Keita, come on, D. If there was a way for you to pay less interest, would you want to know how?
Yes, I do.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. If there was a way for you to pay less interest with the amount of money you're already making now, that you don't need to make more money, would you want to know?
I definitely want to know.
Okay. Here's my third and last question. If there was a way for you to pay less interest and pay off your debt faster because you're paying less interest, but you're still able to live a great lifestyle and don't have to cut up your credit cards and you don't have to eat beans and rice, for 30 years, and you don't have to drive a 30-year-old car. If you could do all of that, what I'm saying, without sacrificing lifestyle, would that be the best information ever?
Yes, it would.
So DK, are you in a position to look at to bring up an iPad or a tablet or your laptop computer, because you're here on Clubhouse with us this morning? Can you go to YouTube on a separate device? And I will give you what the banks don't want you to know, how you need to pay less interest to get your debt cheaper, okay, by avoiding the information that they've given us already. Can you see? Would you like to see it? Can you see? Are you in a position to do that today?
Not at the moment. I'm driving, but
okay,
I can do it later on. If you guys have the replays on, I'll go back and try.
The replay is on. Listen, it's just for you, D. Just for you. You can go back to Facebook. You can go to and find the P.I.L.L method. Go to YouTube and find the P.I.L.L method channel, and you can watch exactly what I'm getting ready to put up on the screen. Okay. So, folks, first of all, before we get started, I need to take a little time to do some things behind the scene. And this is why, you're here. You got to hear a commercial. I need you to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher. Okay. He is the number one motivational speaker in the world. Number one motivational speaker in the world. I need you to listen to what he has to say about interest cancellation and the P.I.L.L method right now.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, It took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
There we are, folks. I'm going to bring some stuff up on the screen right now. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to bring this up. I'm going to, listen, I have a client here in town, all right? I have a client here in town who is has some commercial property. And he read my book, and I showed him some things that how to borrow money at a discount. It's borrowing money at a discount. You don't need more money. How do we use the money that we have? And we're going to put that on the screen right about now. So let me pull this over here. I'm going to show you a little bit, and then I'm going to show you how we helped him. All right. So we're going to share that on the screen right now. But before we do that, folks, right, if you're looking at my book on the screen right now, this is where the basic information is. Do you want to know the basic information on how interest cancellation actually works? So ICE doesn't just stand for Interest Cancellation Expert. ICE also stands for Interest Cancellation Eliminates. That's how you deal with your debt. How do you leverage? How do you level up and make more money? You make more money by borrowing the bank's money and paying them as little interest as mathematically possible. And the basics are in my book. You find it on Amazon. When you get my book on Amazon, it's the only book that talks about what we're going to be talking about today out of 33 million titles. Go to Amazon, get that book today, get it today, and start teaching it to your children so that they can understand what true financial literacy is all about. All right, folks. So, listen, and I'm going to, Doug Jackson says, I got 2 books. Doug Jackson here on Facebook says, I got 2 of his books. Thank you very much, Doug. We appreciate you so very much for chiming in there. So, folks, here's what we're looking at. All right. I'm going to put this on the screen right now, and this is going to be very exciting. All right. Share the screen. We're sharing the screen. All right. And okay, there it is. Boom. All right, so we got that up. So Doug Jackson says, I've known Don going on 15 years. Okay, he says, listen, we're not going to date ourselves. It's actually a little more than that. At least 15 years, Doug. We're gonna leave it like that. Okay, so here is a real estate investor. Okay. $2 million in debt, $2 million in debt. And this is what we put together for him. All right. On this property, on these are two properties. And listen, folks, if you are a residential homeowner, we got information for you too. This information that I'm getting ready to tell you translates to you. All right. Everybody can cancel interest. And that's the key to debt. Interest cancellation eliminates. So we're going to teach you how to ice your debt today. All right. How to ice your debt today. All right. So listen, I'm excited. I'm excited to give you this information. So he's got $2,236,000 in debt right now. But here's how this debt breaks down. All right. He pays $14,000. Look over here to the right, $14,696 on his debt. That's his debt payment every month. That's his 2 mortgage payments come to $14,696. Do you think he cares about that when the rents that he's bringing in from both buildings is over $57,800? D, do you think he pays attention to the $14,000, almost $14,500 that he has to pay out every month if his renters are paying him over $57,000 a month? D, what do you think?
He sure doesn't.
And why not, sir? Why not?
Because it's obsolete at that point. It's
Yeah.
obsolete.
Okay, so listen. Would you trade 14,696? Would you trade that for $57,000 coming in?
What? Say that again. Say that again.
I said, would you pay out 14,696 if somebody would give you back $57,800?
Every time.
He says every time. What about you, Kay?
I think I would too. I think I like that number too.
Listen. I don't think there's anybody that's listening to me right now or watching us online that would say, listen, I think that is awesome. All right. But when this real estate investor read my book, started paying attention to his paperwork on these things, let me show you something here. All right. I'm going to scroll down here and read something to you. This is how much interest the bank wants on this loan. He owes $2,336,000, but the bank wants him to pay $1,123,195 in interest. $1,123,000. So, although he is making that kind of money, D, K, when he looked at how much interest the bank wanted, over $1 million of that money that's being given to him every month. Do you think he started looking at his stuff a little bit different?
You bet he did.
So listen, folks, this is what the banks don't want us to pay attention to. How much money it costs to get the equity. Because see, the $2 million is, when he pays that all off, it's equity. But what does it cost to get that equity? $1,123,000. So when he asked me, when he says, Don, what can you do for me? I said, let me give you an example here. Right now, it's going to take you over 21 years to pay that off, almost 22 years. And because of all the interest you're paying, this is what the bank wants. So let me tell you what real estate investors are told. And I'll also tell you what people are told who just are residential home buyers. Okay, what they're told. Here's what real estate investors are told. You're borrowing money at 5%. Year over year, depending on where you are, because real estate is local. All right. Year over year, you're making 10, 15, 20% on your money. All right. So if you could borrow it at 5 and you can make 20% over here, then why are you even worried about how long you're going to be in debt? Why are you even worried about that? Just make the minimum payments. Because you're making a ton of money on the front end. That's what they're being told. And that's what they're doing. Okay, that's what they're doing. I have asked so many real estate investors this one question. Have you ever, in all of your calculations, okay? Doug Jackson says that's traditional advice. It says, in all of your calculations, have you ever calculated how much interest it cost you to manage your properties? All of them had said, no, I never considered it. So that is the worst kind of deception, is when we think we have considered all of our cost, when there is a cost glaring us right in the face that we've paid absolutely no attention to. Well, in the front end, we try to get the best interest rate we can. So everything, let me tell you something about that. When you try to get the lowest interest rate, because a bank is going to offer you, it says, here's how you can get a lower interest rate. Now, if you can get a lower interest rate, D, if you can get a lower interest rate, K, here's what we're being taught. All right, so this is all on the front end of the loan, though. Okay, so a bank is going to talk to you about how you can save money through getting a lower interest rate. And they're going to say, here's what you need to do to get that lower interest rate. Can you imagine a bank doing that? I mean, do they have products like that, D? Do they have products like that, K, where they offer you a lower interest rate? What do you think?
Is it the refinancing?
All right, well, that's one way. You can get it that way. Yeah. But there's a way for them to offer you lower interest rates, correct? However they do it.
Correct.
All right. So if they get a lower interest rate, what do they want you to believe about getting a lower interest rate? What is the feeling that comes up in you when you get that lower interest rate?
Less
You're
payments
saving
or
money.
lower payments?
Okay, lower payments. I'm saving money, right? So let me ask you this question, D, K. If you're saving money, who has to be losing money?
The person who you're getting the loan from.
Will they ever give you advice where they're making less money?
Never.
So there's something about that offer that causes them to actually make more money. We just don't know what it is. And do you know what? We've never even bothered to ask the question, because we would ask that question in any other circumstance, but we don't ask it when it comes to the bank. The bank is offering us one product, their money, and they just told us how to get their money cheaper. Is the bank our friend, or is the bank a business?
Business first.
Business first. Are they beholden to us as their customer, or are they beholden to their shareholders to make them more money?
To the establishment.
Come on, brother. That's what we're talking about. So let's ask the right questions and let's get the right answers. Let's find out why the bank is offering us these things. And let me get into this just a little bit more. Doug Jackson says there's another way to do it. You can actually buy down the rate. You can buy down the rate. I need somebody to remind me of that. And I'm going to show you what happens when we buy down the rate. It's called purchasing points. You can purchase points. And when you do the math on it, it is absolutely crazy when you do the math on purchasing points. So here's what we told this guy. Instead of paying $1,123,000, I'm showing him how to pay only $231,000. Uh-oh. Listen to this now. Instead of paying $1.1 million in interest, I asked this real estate investor, how would you like to pay only $231,000? What do you think he said?
Show me how.
Do you realize that is a savings of $891,000 he won't have to pay now to get the same two buildings?
Wow.
That is a 79% interest reduction. That is a discount of 79% on the back end to get the same properties. Isn't that amazing?
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So now, instead of paying that off in 21 years, okay, because every year you get a little bit more equity. Every year you're paying down the loan, so you're getting more equity. Instead of getting that equity over 22 years, I'm showing you how to completely pay that off in 4.9 years, not 22 years, 4.9. How would you like to be able to do that?
Sure would. I just bought a house.
Come on, man. So, and listen, and then you know what else he told me? He said, Don, I make a certain amount of money and on these, but I want to invest my money. I don't want to use this money to lower the interest cost on these loans. I don't want to use that money. This is money he wants to reinvest right away. I said, okay, sir, your wish is my command. We're not going to take money that you've earmarked for reinvesting to save money on interest. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. We got Miss Liz let's bring Miss Liz up up to the stage. All right. Invite her to speak. All right. Come on up, Miss Liz. I see you there. All right. She raised her hand. Let's see if we can bring her up. All right, folks. So here's where we are. I'm going to give you some insight into this, what we're doing for this particular client right now. So I'm going to bring up an amortization schedule. Okay. And when I bring that amortization schedule up, we're going to bring that over here. All right. Bring it up. Okay, now the amortization schedule I'm going to be using is from Brett Whistle. Okay, BRETWHISSEL, and you can bring this up on your own computer. Brett Whistle. All right, and I'm just going to put one of this guy's loans in this calculator, and I'm going to show you what I showed this real estate investor. Okay, so let me bring up the notes on, let's see, hide this, bring up the notes on his loan. All right, so we'll bring up my notes. There's my notes. And there it is. He had a payment on one of his loans of $8,704 a month. Okay, is at 5% interest. Okay, 5% interest. We take out the principal amount, and it was for 300 months. That's 25 years, 300 months. Okay, and let's do the math on that. Okay, so that is just one of his properties, $1,488,906. That's how it started out. All right. And so he's supposed to pay $1,122,000 just on that loan, just on that one loan. So let me make these numbers a little bit bigger. All right. And we're going to make them just a tiny bit bigger here. And the bank wants $1 million in interest on this loan, $1.1 million on a $1.488 million loan. So the 5% over here that the bank is charging in interest really means total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 75.377%. D, what do you think about that when they tell us it's 5%, when it actually turns into 75%? D, is something wrong with that story?
All the way. Yes, sir. All the way.
All the way. Okay. So let me show you how this breaks down, D. I want you to listen to this. Okay. You can keep your mic open. On this very first payment of $8,704, do you know how much goes to principal? Let me tell you. How much pays down the loan? $2,500.22. That's it. How much goes to interest? $6,203 goes to interest. So anytime you make a payment, D, anytime you make a payment on this loan, you are increasing equity. You are increasing equity by $2,500. But it costs you $6,200 to get it. So if I ask you, D, do you really have equity of $2,500 when it costs you $6,000 to get it?
No, sir.
Then why do we believe that? Why do we believe we're getting equity? Because we are taught to ignore how much it costs to get it. Have you ever thought about your debt this way? It costs $6,000 to get $2,500. And why does the real estate investor ignore this? Because he's paying out so much money, but he's making over 50 grand a month. So he's not paying attention to this, right?
Wow.
Because you said in the beginning, oh man, we're not thinking about that. I'm paying out 14 grand, but I'm making over 50 grand a month. So this is what we're taught. So listen, I'm going to show you 1 year on this thing. Because when we add up all the interest for 1 year, all the principal for 1 year, okay, adding up all the principal, we're going to take a look at column 3 and column 4. Okay, so in 1 year, we're going to pay this loan down by $30,699.86. But you know, D, my tenants gave me that money. And so I have now 30 grand in extra equity because my tenants gave me the money. How about that? You feel good about that?
Yeah, I like that.
You like that. Guess how much it costs, though?
How much?
$73,748 to get it. Do you think $73,000 is too much money to pay for $30,000 in equity?
Indeed.
Indeed.
It is.
Would you like to know what you can do about that?
Of course.
Folks, I need you to put number 9s in the chat. If you want to know, I'm going to show you what I showed this real estate investor, but he gave me instructions. It says, Don, you can't use the majority of my money to fix this. Okay, so listen, D says it's good. D's putting a number 9 and says, Miranda says, listen, I brought it already. All right. Ooh, Keita says, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So watch this, folks. Watch this. All right. I'm going to go back to my other screen here, and I'm going to show you what he showed me. He says, Don, I have over $57,800 coming in. My monthly payments on 2 of these mortgages is $14,600. The $36,000, 63% of my income, I need to reinvest. 63% of it. You can't touch it. But he says 11.2% of it goes into a fund for maintenance and repairs. Okay, repairs and maintenance. So $6,000, that's 11% of his income goes into a bank account just to sit there, D, just to sit there until something goes wrong. So would that be smart to have some cash set aside so you can do repairs if you need it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he thought that was smart. So do you know, because his buildings were practically new, do you know he had over $100,000 sitting in his bank account? Just sitting there waiting to do repairs? Okay, so here's what I told him, okay? But first, I need you to understand the basics. So here are the basics, folks. I'm going to go over the basics, then I'm going to tell you what I told him, because people want to know. If you're making this very first payment on this loan in January, $2,500 goes to principal, $6,200 goes to interest. So we paid the principal down by $2,500. You're left with a principal balance that's right here on line 1. The principal balance on line 1 determines how much interest you pay on line 2. This is what the banks do. Take this number, do their math, and says, now that you owe us less money, you pay us less interest on the second month of this loan. So on month 2, he's supposed to pay $6,193. So it goes from $6,203 to $6,193. That's not much difference, is it, D?
At all.
Not at all. Here's how it works. So if we're looking at the amortization schedule, when you see this, all right, I'm going to highlight it for you. Let's say we make that first payment in January, and February's principal payment is $2,510.64. Okay. If you can see that, here's my question. If you already know how much you have to pay next month, is there any rule that says you have to wait next month to give the bank that $2,500? Do you have to wait, D?
No.
If you have it, can you pay it early?
I'm sure you can.
All right. So if he has it, he can actually pay that in January too. If he paid the 25, 10, 64 in January, do you realize he's paid down to line 2 on his amortization schedule in January? He's already paid down to line 2 because he gave him the bank the money early. And guess what? No interest comes out of that money because he's already paid the interest for January. $2,500, he just got an additional $2,500 in equity in January, and he didn't have to pay interest for it. So if he's already paid down to line 2, his next mortgage payment for February is on line 3 of the of his amortization schedule. So Kay, I see that you're back. So listen, folks. So by paying that $2,500, listen, you came back just in time. All right. So if you pay $2,500 early, he eliminates line 2 from his amortization schedule for $2,500, not for $8,000. Not for $8,000. He got rid of line 2. He got rid of it for $2,500. And now his new February payment is the one for March. March actually moves up one. So instead of 300 monthly payments, he turned 300 monthly payments instantly into 299 monthly payments with just $2,500. What do you think, D?
Okay. You talking my language.
I'm talking your language now.
You talking my language.
Okay. So he just saved $6,193 in interest he'll never have to pay. That, all that money that the bank was looking for, he just reduced it by over $6,000 by giving them their money at a time frame that suited him instead of doing it on the bank's time frame. This is what interest cancellation is about. Interest cancellation eliminates mortgages because of this. So the 25, let me ask you this one last question. Okay. I see Barry's online watching us from Facebook. He says he started the journey a month ago. So because Barry said that, I can tell you now, Barry said he's a client. So he is a client. He started the journey a month ago. He's watching us from Facebook. So folks, here's what I'm talking about. The $2,500 in equity. Did he just get that equity for free?
You could say that, yeah.
Because he didn't have to pay $6,000 to get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you like getting that free equity? Come on, D.
I'm speechless.
You're speechless. Well, listen, man, you think that's powerful? Do you want to hear something even more powerful?
Continue.
Come on. He says continue. All right. So let's look at 1 year on this thing. Take a year, 1 year on this thing. I see you, Doug. All right. But P.I.L.L, he says back here, P.I.L.L is it. Take the right medicine. Come on, Doug. So see, Doug is a master marketer. All right. Okay. He's a master marketer. So here's what I'm talking about. If we do this, let's take a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest. All the interest and principal we're going to pay for 1 year. If we know this early, $30,699 in principal we could pay in 1 year by making 12 monthly payments. So K, do we have to pay the bank that $30,000 in 12 monthly installments?
No.
If we had it, could we give it to them early?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
So if we gave it to them early, we can knock off. We'd be paid down to line 12 on the amortization schedule in 1 month. And what would happen to all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12? That's 11 $6,000 payments. What would happen to them?
They go away. They fly away.
Come on, D. K, are you kidding this? Are you are you
Sir.
are you guys
Sir.
picking up what we're putting down?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm not done yet. I am not done yet. So, do you know where he got that money to put down? I said, listen, you have over $100,000 in that account. You're putting in $6,000 a month every month, but because your buildings are practically new, you're not using hardly any of it. Could you borrow $6,000 from yourself and
Yes, sir.
place it on this loan? He still has $30,000. If he takes $30,000 out of it, do you realize he still has over 70? He has about $70,000 still left in the bank to do repairs on a brand new building. Are you hearing me, D?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, so he could take $30,000 out, apply it to this loan, and then his next mortgage payment for February would be on line 13 of his amortization schedule. He knocks off a whole year. The amount of interest, okay, it would normally cost him, the amount of interest it would normally cost him to get $30,699 in equity would normally cost him $73,748, which he didn't pay attention to because he's making so much money on the front end, right?
Yeah.
But now he got the $30,699 in equity for only $6,203, the interest on line one.
Wow.
It's the same amount of equity, but he didn't pay 73 grand to get it. He only paid 62 grand to get it. Folks, that's a savings. I'm gonna highlight the number here for you. Exactly this much money, $67,661.37 in savings. So, what does he do next? What does he do next? Now, this is not my program, folks. My program is more precise than this, okay? Because somebody asked me yesterday, says, Don, if you're giving out all this free game, if you're giving out all this free game on YouTube and you put a book out here and you got these videos out here, then how do you have a business? Okay, because we're telling this real estate investor to put an exact amount of money on his on his loan to figure out how much interest he's going to save per dollar. Per dollar. So there's a point at which more is too much. Anything with numbers can be optimized. You want to put the right amount of money in the right month on the right day of the month on this loan. That's why we call our AI system that does all the math for you, D, all the math for you, K, all the math for you, Coffee Brown. I see you in here. All right. All the math.
What's up, Don?
Hey. Come on, Coffee. How are you doing this morning?
You know what? I'm blessed and highly favored. You know, I've been getting the answers to my puzzle pieces of life this past couple of weeks, so I'm excited.
All right. So, folks, here's what we're talking about. I'll come back to you in a second, Coffee. So, if we can do all of that, what kind of good could we do, not just for ourselves, but right now we're spending money on interest we don't need to spend. If we can get our equity so much cheaper. So here's what I told the guy. All right. If we borrowed $30,000 to do this, to accomplish this, how long would it take us to put that $30,000 back in his bank account if he's putting $6,000 a month into that account, D? He's putting $6,000.
5 months.
5 months. So in 5 months, do you think he could take another 30 grand out and put it on this loan and knock off another year and another 60 grand in interest?
I wouldn't be mad at him.
Okay, listen. If he did it in 5 months, do you think he could now do it in another 5 months?
Yes.
So D, under this, just listen, without even using an opportunity cost calculator, do you think, based on what I just said, and if he took 20 months, okay, That's repeating this process 5 times, saving about $30,000 5 times in a row in 20 months. 5 times 30, 5 times 3, that is 150. Is that $150,000?
Yes.
What? So he could get, let me I'm going to put a calculator on the screen, folks, because this is important. This is important for you to see. This is important for you to see. All right. So we've got about $30,000. Okay. We're going to do this every 5 months or so. And 30,000, and we're going to do it 5 times, 30,000 times 5. Okay. That's $150,000, $150,000 in equity. All right. In about 20 months. How powerful is that? If we do it the bank's way, D, do you want to know how much time it takes to get $150,000 in equity and how much it costs? Let me show you. We're going to scroll down to where we see $150,000 in equity. That is about line 54. That's 54 months. Okay. That's 3 years, 4 years, 4.5 years it takes to get $150,000 in equity. Do you know how much he would normally have to pay in interest to do that on a building he is cash flowing like crazy on? It would cost him $318,000 in interest to do what he's being traditionally taught to do.
Wow.
So, D, why would we do that if we can understand interest cancellation techniques and ice this loan? Do you think he ought to ice this loan?
Ice it. Yes. Ice it. Yes, sir.
Come on, Kay, you had something you wanted to say.
No, I was just saying ice it.
She said ice it. Ice that loan. Coffee Brown, I see you in here. Coffee Brown, come talk to us this morning.
I thought you wanted me to sing Josie for a second. You come and talk to me. Okay. Anyway, what's up, Freddie? Rosalina there?
Hey there.
What's up, gorgeous? How you doing?
Good, Miss Coffee. How are you?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I always have to salute the credit goddess before I start talking, Di, because she is at beast mode always.
I hear you.
Thank you. Listen, I am so excited to be in the building. You guys, if you're not following Don, why are you in his church? Follow Don, follow the house, pick up the publication. It is life transformative. Don is doing some amazing things. He even helped my brother from another Mr. and Mrs. Eric Thomas. We were born in the same region at the same time, and just amazing to know. And when I heard that, I was like, Don became credible for me in that moment. When I was like, oh, my boy EC, oh, family, kinfolk, oh, you have EC, you right, you are family officially. So super excited. Don is amazing. He's such a lover of human beings. You guys, show your love for him by purchasing that publication. If you feel that you don't need it, which, okay, that's your feeling, be sure to pick it up for another soul. There's another soul out there that does not know about this. And please don't harbor the information. Share it with someone. Don, I'll be investing again so we can get another soul a book. Just remind me to send you the resources to pay for a couple more books to add to people who can't afford it. Some people just cannot afford to purchase it, Don. So I want to bless a few people again with the publication. So thank you so much for having me, Don. This room is not about me, it's about you. If they want to know about me, they can read my profile. Thank you, Don.
You're so welcome. So Coffee, I need you to share with the folks how important it is for younger people to get this information. And what am I going to be receiving in my email in just a few hours? What am I going to be receiving?
Well, thank you so much, Don. Well, Don's going to be teaching some young people that have not purchased anything just yet. Why they mom and dad is stealing their money? He's going to teach them. They're going to be some 7th and 8th graders who are getting ready to shift into college and high school simultaneously. He's going to be speaking with the elite students here in Houston, Texas on March the 2nd. He He is our keynote speaker. We're so honored to have him. So we literally have separated the wheat from the tare on his behalf to have the students who are interested. We don't want his time to ever be wasted. So he's going to come on in to Houston and share. Credit Goddess, if you're available, we would love for you to come on in to Houston and bless us as well if you're available on March the 2nd. And we're just honored that he said yes to be able to come in and bless these children. I'm telling you, when they hear that information, they are going home and they're going to be rebuking some parents, honey. And I absolutely love it. I am an educator. I deal with students from 7th to 12th grade, and those that are in junior college. So I'm so excited about all of this, Don. It's going to flip the world upside down. So thank you again. This is Poppy. I yield back to you.
Listen, you are so welcome. So, folks, this is why I'm so excited about what we're doing. And the fact that people who have been in the business for such a long time, when they first hear about it, push back against it because they don't know what they don't know. We want to get, you see, this is why Jesus said, suffer the little children to come unto me, because children believe. Okay. As when we get to adults, when we're adults, it is hard for us to wrap our minds around new ideas. Children say, listen, if this works better, give me that. So this is why we're starting out with the kids. And the title of our talk when I get there is going to be your parents are spending your inheritance on interest. Okay, we're going to talk to them about their inheritance. How things are supposed to be set up, because the Bible talks about setting aside monies, setting aside wealth. Okay, so that you can have something for your children's children. The children's children is the third generation. Credit Goddess, are you there? Can you speak to us this morning about the third generation? Because you don't get generational wealth until the third generation. This is why we have to set aside money for our children's children. I'm the first generation. My children is the second generation. Their children is the third generation. Credit Goddess, are you there? Because sometimes she gets busy, folks.
Hey, Don, I wanted to respond to that while you on that with the third generation.
Please do.
Now, if you guys are any kind of scholar, understand this. The inheritance, it was not necessarily all money. It was the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding. Some of the families, if you look at genealogy, biblical genealogy, they did not have tangible resources, but they were filled with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And so the third generation got released. In essence, the other two generations prior were just walking around as zombies. But that third generation would show up. And when they showed up, they were free. They were free in their mind, body, and spirit. Their mind, body, and spirit were all, and their soul. They were just free. They weren't entrapped by anybody's thoughts and ideas, because guess what? That wisdom from the generations prior that was invested into them started to manifest. And that's what happens when you have that third generation. You got your children's children. Well, if you do it, then you break that stuff off of whatever happened prior to you. Guess what? That second generation deep is going to flip your family's legacy upside down. It will literally do a 180 and turn around, and those curses will become blessings. So I yield back to you, Don, on that one.
Well, that's what we're talking about, folks. We are here telling you the truth about what is really going on, because we have been given the illusion of choice. I've got my notes here. We've been given the illusion of choice. Okay. Slavery, modern day financial slavery, is the illusion of freedom. We have been given the illusion of choice. We have been given the illusion of financial literacy, when it's really financial ignorance masquerading as financial literacy. And we have accepted deception that has been masquerading as enlightenment. Folks, there are plenty of people out here teaching about how to handle loans. There are plenty of people out here teaching about how to do all of this, and it's all wrong. Everything that you've already been taught about how to handle your debt is inspired by and promoted by banking, and we think we have a choice. But every choice that we have makes the bank money. Okay? Because listen, I heard a little while ago that if we could get a lower interest rate, we should get it. Okay? We refinance to get a lower interest rate. So let me tell you something. Right now, interest rates are at 7%. 7%. And Mr. Doug Jackson talked about paying points. Okay. So let me show you something about that right now. We're going to put that on the screen, and I'm going to do this, and we're going to duplicate this tab, and we're going to put the same loan in. Okay. Because now the loans are at 7%, folks. They're at 7. They're not at 5. They're at 7. Okay. Now I'm going to do a little bit more math for you, and I'm going to tell you how ridiculous this really is based on the math. All right. So now I have a loan. All right. The same loan, $1,488,000. All right. At 7%, the bank wants $1,668,000. $1,168,000. At 5%, the bank wants $1,122,000. $122,000 versus $688,000. Folks, let me tell you what's going on here. I'm going to go what Doug said. So we're going to put, we're going to put the 600, only the 668. Okay, wait a minute. Clear this out. $668,000. Okay, I'm just rounding it off. 668,000. All right. So we're going to subtract from that the 100. Subtract $122,000. All right, $122,000. That is a $546,000 savings. All right, so we can buy those points. We can buy points for, let's say we can buy those points for an extra $25,000. We put an extra $25,000 down, or we can put an extra $50,000 down, and we can get that lower interest rate we can lower the interest rate from 7% to 5%. All right. Are you hearing me? So D, are you still with us?
I'm still with you.
All right. All right. Great. So listen, you work for, I work for you in the bank. Okay. I work for you in the bank. And you know that part of banking is if you want to get a lower interest rate, you can just pay a little bit extra money, correct?
Right.
You know about that. So I work for you. And here's what I just did for you. I just got our client to give us an extra $50,000, so we could sell them, a 5% interest rate instead of a 7% interest rate. Okay? So I'm happy. So you as my employer, when you start doing the numbers, so Don, what you just told me is they were willing to pay the 7%, but you sold them a 5% loan for $50,000. So that means I was going to make $1,668,000 Now I'm going to make only $1,122,000. I'm losing $546,000, and you sold that for 50 grand. What's your feeling towards me right now as as me working for you? D, K.
You're not coming to dinner.
Come on, K. Do you really see why is the bank doing that? Why is the bank selling lower interest rates?
They can get bigger down payment.
So they can get a bigger down payment. But I feel as a consumer, I feel, listen, I'm getting a $546,000 break, and they sold it to me for 50 grand. You better believe I'm going to give them the 50 grand as a consumer. But again, I have to ask the question: if I'm saving money, who's losing it?
Wow.
Can I show you why the bank does this?
Please.
She said, please. All right. All right. She said, come on, show me why. Remember, and I need you to write this down. Everybody that's listening to me or watching this, two things. Control the principal payment and you control the loan. Write it down. Control the principal payment and you control the loan. Second thing, this is what interest cancellation does, folks. Interest cancellation pays off loans, not anything else. Okay. Control the principal payment and you control the loan. And number two, interest payments I skip don't matter. Interest payments I skip don't matter. Are you ready? I'm going to show you what no one on the planet, your real estate agent won't show you this. Your accountant won't show you this. Your loan officer won't show you this. Anybody that works in finance won't show you what I'm getting ready to show you right now. When I have a 7% interest rate, my principal payments, because remember, control the principal payment, you control the loan. My principal payments are $2,500. That's my principal payment. Okay. Fairly small compared to the interest payments I have. Okay. That's what happens at a 7% interest rate. When I lower, when I look at prepaying just 1 month, I only have to come up with $2,510 and I can eliminate $6,000 worth of interest, and I eliminate one line from my loan. One line is removed from my amortization schedule for only $2,510. Okay. When I lower the interest rate to 5%, I need you to see what my principal payments are now. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I did the wrong thing. Take a look. Starting over. All right. Rewind. At 7%, I was showing you the wrong loan. At 7%, my payments are $1,800 a month. $1,800 a month. And my interest payments are $8,600 a month. Wow. $8,600 a month. So if I want to get rid of one line on my schedule, I just have to come up with an extra $1,800 at 7%. Does this make sense to you? Are you hearing me now? Because I'm telling you better. At the higher interest rate, my principal payment is smaller. At the higher interest rate. So all I have to do is come up with $1,800 to get rid of one line. But Don, look at those interest payments. They're $8,000. But remember, interest payments I skip don't matter. Let's go back to the other line. So if I'm at 5%, okay, my principal payments are $2,500. So if I prepay $30,699 at 5%, $30,699 at 5%, I get rid of 12 payments I never have to make, and it saves me $73,000. But at 7%, if I have an extra 30,000, because see, at 7%, I still have that money in the bank that I'm putting away, right? For my repairs and maintenance. So let me take a look at what $30,000 prepaid to the 7% loan would do. Uh-oh, knocks off 16 months. 30 grand on the 7%, on the 5% only knocks off 12 payments. $30,000 on the 7% loan knocks off 16 payments. So folks, tell me, if you had 30,000 to apply to the loan, would you want to eliminate just 12 of your payments? Or would you want to eliminate 16 of your payments?
16.
16.
So the higher interest rate allows you to do that. So if you come into a bank and you start talking about what do I need to do? Okay, what do I need to do to pay this loan off faster? Because that's what I'm thinking. I need to get out of this fast. No one is talking about how to get out of it cheap. What do I need to do to get out of it fast? Then they're going to say, oh, listen, how can I get out of it fast and I can save a little bit more money? They say, get the lower interest rate. Get the lower interest rate. We're only going to charge you about 25 to 50 grand to get it. And now you can, now you have the ability to save money on the overall cost of the loan. So all on the front end, nothing on the back end. How does this benefit me on the back end? So when you're trying to get out of this loan faster, you've got to come up with more money to apply to principal to do the same amount of work at the lower interest rate. And guess who understands this so very well? The people that own the bank, not the people that work for the bank, because they don't even teach this to their people. Are you hearing me today?
I don't mean to interrupt, but so you're saying the higher the interest rate, the lower the principal.
The higher the interest rate, the lower the principal payment. And when you control the principal payment, you control the loan.
Okay.
Listen, I know it's just freaking you out, isn't it? Everything that you've ever been taught, think how you can do the opposite. Call us at the P.I.L.L method, and we're going to show you what's really going on behind the scenes. How many of you have ever heard that if you really want to save money, put the largest down payment you can down on a loan? How many of you heard that?
I heard that.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still believe that today?
Nope.
Absolutely
I didn't believe
not.
when I was doing it.
Okay. So you say absolutely not, but you don't know why you shouldn't believe it, do you?
Well, from what you were saying so far, it sounds everything like we shouldn't be doing what the bank's telling us to do.
Okay. So say, what do you think? So if I have an extra $100,000, what do you think I could do with that instead of making a down payment? Okay. What do you think?
Use it for your principal?
No, she didn't say that.
Yes, I did.
Yes, she did say it. Okay. I'm backing up. I'm back. So let's bring Justin to the stage. Invite up this because he got his hand raised. All right. Watch this. So I've got $1,488,000. So you said if I put an extra $100,000, let's make it a big one. 400,000. I got an extra $400,000 I want to put down. Okay. So I can have just $1 million loan, not $1,400,000 loan. Okay. I would have less interest to pay overall if I had $1 million loan, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So most people would say, I want the $1 million loan, not the $1,488,000 loan. All right. So let's go ahead and do the math. Okay. We're still using the original 5% loan that we had before. Okay. So we're going to duplicate that tab. And now we're going to change this to 1,906,000. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to recalculate the payment. All right. So now we have a $1 million loan, $1 million $1,906. Okay. So we just put a large chunk of money down. My payment is $5,851.20 if I do that. Or I could have the $8,704. So which one do I want, folks, before you even see the money here? Do I want the $8,000 payment, the $8,700 payment, or do I want the $5,800 payment? Which one payment do I want, K, D? Which one do I want? What do you think?
I had missed it. What did you say?
Okay. If I put a big down payment down, my payment is $5,851. If I don't put a big down payment down, my payment is $8,704.
Okay.
So if I put a big down payment down, which payment do you want? Now that you know the P.I.L.L method, which payment do you want? The $8,700 payment or the $5,800 payment?
I'll take the big one too.
She'll take the big one too, because if I take the big one, do I still have my $488,000?
Yes.
No.
If I take the big loan, because I'm not putting it down, so I still have the $488,000 in the bank, right? Right, Kay?
Mm-hmm.
Right, correct.
Right. So you said, Kay, I could use that money instead of a down payment. I could use it as a prepayment, right?
Correct, right.
Oh, well, let's see what happened. I still have my $488,000. I want $1 million loan. So if I take the $488,000 and I apply it to this loan, let me go down to where I've paid down $488,000. I'm scrolling down. I'm still scrolling down. $488,000. I just knocked off nearly 144 payments. That's 12 years. I could take that and put it on the loan. Did you see? I still have $1 million loan. But I took my $488,000 and not use it as a down payment and start at payment number 1. I used the $488,000 as a prepayment and knocked off nearly 12 years off this loan, and I still have $1 million payment. I start out at payment number 143, not payment number 1. Okay, you are exactly right.
That's a mind opener, like 100%. And I'm very young, so this, to make sense like this, it makes total sense.
Wow. D, what do you say, man?
I'm loving everything I heard. Like I said, I just bought a house in California. So
a house in California. Listen, folks,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Listen,
God is good.
Let's put something on the screen. All right, for everybody that's in here, we're going to put something new on the screen. If you want to know, would you all like to know the month, day, and year you can be debt free? Whether it is on a residential property or your income, your real estate that you're using for income. Would you like to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free?
Today.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we do.
Would you like to know how much interest you could save?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to know that up front before you even make a move?
Yes, sir.
All right. So all you have to do is this, folks. I'm putting it at the top of the screen right now in Clubhouse. Let me put my how do you ice your loans? How do you ice your loans? It's interest cancellation eliminates your mortgage, your student loans, your car loans, your credit cards. All right. So pin the link. It is ICE 10K.com. There it is at the top of the page. All right. ICE10K.com. Let me go and see if this comes up right. Nope, it didn't. Something I did wrong. Hold on. All right. All right. I
say it didn't pop up.
I didn't type it right. That's why. Let me do it again. Listen, I'm trying to talk and type at the same time. Hold on. I didn't type it right. I'll go back and do it. ICE 10K. All right. ICE10K.com. There it is.
Fill out the link already.
All right. There it is. ICE10K.com. That is my link. All right. That's my link. And if you go there, you'll see a button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Click that link that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. It'll take you to my website. Follow all of the directions. And when you follow the directions, it will let you into a financial form. Put all of your debt in there. We pay off interest cancellation, eliminates your mortgage. Interest cancellation eliminates your car loans. Interest cancellation eliminates your credit cards. All of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years. All of it. By using interest cancellation techniques. Our AI system tells you how much money to move, when to move it, what day to do it on, what month to do it in, and which loan to attack in the proper sequence. So you can eliminate the most money in interest that's mathematically possible for you. So even though I told this real estate investor the basics of it, they bought the program and now they're saving way more interest than they could ever save on their own. When you were using the interest savings he used to pay to the bank, a small fraction of that to pay for his program, and he keeps the rest of the money. How's that sound to you all?
Sounds good.
All right. So that's what you do, folks. Go to ICE10K.com, or you can go to PILLmethod.com and click on Get a Savings and Earnings Report, and you can know what to do. He's just brought Justin up to the stage. Justin, you raised your hand. Do you have something that you want to add to the conversation, sir?
Just that I'm already filling it out, man. The minute I came up here, I started filling it out on my laptop, man. I was putting it off for a minute. I was like, man, let's get in here and show some love and show some support, and also get it done, man. Because like I said, I've been putting it off for a while now.
Listen, stop putting it off, folks. You want to ICE your loan. ICE your loan today. From the interest cancellation expert himself saying you can ICE your loan. Interest cancellation eliminates your debt the right way, the cheap way. The way to get out of debt is to get out of debt cheaper, not faster. Faster is relative. Cheaper is something we can quantify. The bank wants me to pay this much money to get this amount of equity. I don't want to give them all of that money now that I see how they're doing it. We don't understand how they're doing it. Okay. And this is why. So now UDK, you've seen now how much interest the bank is charging us. Do you think they're charging us way more interest than they should, or they're charging us the right amount of interest that they should?
Way more than they should.
Way more than they should. Do you know anything about the math they use to charge us all that interest?
No.
Would you like to know?
Please.
Okay.
Right. I would love to know.
You would love to know how they do it?
Yes.
You mean they didn't tell you this in school, how they make all that money?
Never.
Never. Listen, folks, if you all want to know, if you're online right now, you're watching us online, or you're listening to us in Clubhouse, I need you to put some number 9s in the chat. Put some number 9s in the chat. All right. So, did I see Karen Mills in here? Did she put Is she in here right now? Did she leave? Oh, she was in here. Oh man, I missed her. I wanted to bring her up to the stage. I missed her. But anyway, so if you want to know how we do that, put some number 9s in the chat. I'm going to teach you what the bank is doing with this math that costs us so much money. I did some research. And they use an algorithm, a formula that that they use to amortize these loans, and the formula that they use makes it so doggone expensive. It's not even crazy. I found out. Okay, have any of you heard of Fibonacci numbers? Fibonacci. Okay, look them up. Okay, I think he was an Italian mathematician, and it was Fibonacci. Yep, Fibonacci, who developed the first amortization formula, and we've been using it since the 16th century, virtually unchanged. Virtually unchanged. We're going to show you how this works. So now I'm going to use a smaller number. Okay, we're going to use a smaller number to make this understandable on our mortgage. So we're going to pull up a new mortgage. Okay, and we're just going to make it $200,000 at 6%. Okay, 200,000 at 6%. I'm going to show you what the bank does. All right. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Hey, Brett, that might be a good question to look into. All right. So $200,000 at 6%. All right. And the payment is $1199.10. When you make your first payment on this, only $199.10 goes to principal and $1,000 goes to interest. So let me ask D and K, when you see a small principal amount, does that bother you anymore?
Put a smile on my face.
Absolutely not.
Have mercy.
Smile on my face.
Listen, it's good to know how to read, isn't it?
It is.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So watch this. So when we make a payment here, when we make our first payment, all right, we had 200,000, $199.10 went to principal. So we're left with $199,800.90. Here's what the bank does. They take the 6% interest rate, okay, 0.06. Then that formula divides it by 12. Oh, the formula divides it by 12. So we're going to divide the 6%, divide it by 12, and then we get a number that's 0.005. Then they take that number and multiply it by the unpaid balance. So our unpaid balance now, when we pay $199.10 to this loan that went to principal, the $1,000 went to interest, we now owe the bank $199,800.90. What the bank then does is take 0.005 and multiply it by the $199,800.90. When we do that, we're going to multiply that by $199,800.90. It equals $999. That's the interest payment on line 2. So folks, what did we just learn? Every single month you have this loan, if you don't watch out, the bank is going to charge you every single month. So it's not one $200,000 mortgage. It is 360 individual mortgages that they're charging you on, not one. They take one mortgage and with this formula, turn it into 360 mortgages you get charged on every month.
My same reaction, D.
Can you believe that we have been blind to this? And did you know that this also that we never had 30-year mortgages in the United States amortized until 1934? So somebody said, this Fibonacci guy, he created this thing. Why don't we use it in banking? And in 1934, this was introduced to banking, and they started amortizing 30-year loans using this formula so that they could turn 6% interest loans into 115.838% interest loans. Boy, oh boy, I am just worn out today. I'm worn out today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Listen, this is a 2-hour room. D, I want to thank you for coming in. Thank you for being here. And listen, Kay, are you in business at all?
No, I'm trying to. I'm 23, trying to get into that. So yeah.
Okay. So D, you're trying to get into business as well, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Matter of fact, I am.
All right. So listen, do you see my 10K card up here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we see it.
All right. If you, there's a basic 10, I don't have the basic 10K card, but because you are here to help me today, I'm going to make sure you get the basic 10K card today. All you have to do is hit me up on my DM and my Instagram and ask me for the 10K card, and I will make sure you get it.
Awesome. Okay.
On it now. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you. Listen, it's $100 value to get the basic card. But I know the CEO of the company, and if you want, so I'm going to set it up so that if you know anybody else that wants to buy the card, so that they can have a digital business card. Mm-hmm. Anytime one is sold, okay, and you set the people up, I'm going to make sure you get 20% of whatever they buy. You're going to get it as a referral bonus.
Excellent. Okay.
I love that. Okay. I love it.
Listen, folks, listen, closed mouths don't get fed. The next time I invite folks to come to the stage and get some benefits.
Y'all better come to the stage.
Yes, sir. Comfortable on the stage.
All right. Listen, folks, this is the end of our show. I want to thank you so very much. Listen, ice your debt.
Thank you, sir.
Ice your debt today. All right. So get the book, get the interest. Go ahead and make sure you get your savings and earnings report today. Click on the link, get it all done, get some benefits, and we're going to give 2 cards away. I'm going to pay for them. Make sure that you get it. All right. And follow me, follow my club. And also we have a house, follow and join our house as well. I want to thank everybody for being here. We're going to listen to Dr. Eric Thomas one more time as we say goodbye. And I'm going to be right back here on Sunday, giving you more game, more information from the P.I.L.L method and the Iceman. That's me, Ice. Your interest cancellation expert is going to teach you how to ice your loans. Goodbye.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.